What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Zach. Listen to me, and listen to me really good, because I know a lot need to hear this, unfortunately. No matter who you are, no matter what disability that you have, you are 100% human with a 100% different, a 100% true story about you. Look at somebody as this. Take that disability away from them. In other words, look at that person without that disability. Or better yet, look at that person that, has a wheelchair or maybe a walker or crutches or whatever the case may be. Look at that person without that. Without that walker, without those crutches, or without that cane, or without that wheelchair. What do you have? You have a 100% human that has a 100% different but 100% true story about them. So before you go judge someone, remember this. That person with a wheelchair, that person with a walker or crutches or a cane or whatever the case may be, they're just the same as you. They're no different. Yeah, they get around different, as far as that cane that they have or those crutches or that walker or that wheelchair. But just like you, they're 100% human. They're 100% human. There's no difference. The only difference is the person who's walking is the person who's walking mindset. A person's mindset that walks. Let me say it that way. Because a person that walks, that's what they're used to. That's all they're used to, is somebody that walks. But even then, take a person who has a wheelchair or a walker or crutches or whatever the case may be, take that walker away from that person. What do you have? You have a person just like you, the person who can walk on their own. Like I say, I myself, being now 36, I've had a wheelchair since I was about 3 that I can remember. I was about 3 or 4. And again, that's just because of my balances on my level 1 spina bifida effects. And a lot of times, and I've noticed this as well, a lot of times, a lot of people think they're not good enough. They get hurt. They get, in other words, they get heartbroken. And they, where they get, they get put on, on the back burner and think, man, what am I doing wrong? Why is this person pushing me on the back burner and taking this other person? Or whatever the case may be. Or why am I not good enough for this or good enough for that? And the truth of it is, you're a great person. You are a great human being. And don't ever let someone tell you anything different. Because you know who you are. And as long as you know who you are, that's what counts. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of things that, or a lot of people that might look at you and will look at you and think, man, that person has a disability. They're different. When in fact is this. No, they're not different. Yeah, they have to go about things in a different way. But a person with a disability is not different. You know, a person with a disability, whatever the case may be, whether it's like me with the, level 1 spina bifida, it affects my balance. I can do the same thing as everybody, as a person walking can do, except run and jump. But yet, as, someone that's in a wheelchair, yes, I've dealt with 36 years of heartbreak. I've never actually been on dates or relationships. I've tried. And a lot of times things got screwed up for me. And that wasn't right. But again, people don't see me as a lot of people don't see me as a human. They see me as a person sitting down thinking, he's sitting down. We can really screw with him. And the thing I'm trying to say is this. Sitting down or not, I'm just like a person walking. It's just because of my balance. That's why I'm not upstanding. And again, I'm not just saying that just for me. That goes for everybody. Like I said, I've also got a friend of mine, as I told you about, who was born with cerebral palsy, and he's dealt with the same issue because of his disability. That's what he's went through. He went through that judgment, And I've also, like I said, with me, spina bifida, I've went through that judgment. He went through that judgment, and he's walking. He's walking. And he still went through that. And when I'm sitting here thinking about things as I'm putting this, this YouTube video together right now, the more I'm thinking about things different because, the way I was going to do things, I'm going about it differently now. But what I'm saying to you is this. Just because you're someone's disability doesn't make you any different than anybody else. Just because of your disability does not make you any different. Someone with a disability just has to go about some things differently. And that's okay. Just because you got to go about something different doesn't make you any different at all. It just means that, okay, I've got this disability. I've got to go about something different, I got to go about this different. I got to go about that different. And, it's just like me. Being level 1 spina bifida, or being that I was born with level 1 spina bifida in a wheelchair, I can walk. No, not miles. I can walk a little bit with as long as I've got my braces on and I've got a walker. I've got my walker. Or if I'm at the gym and I get to stand up walking with crutches, I can even do that. That's going to take me a while. That takes me a long while. Because And I say it because standing with crutches versus standing with a walker is a lot more. Because when you stand with crutches, you're dealing with your balance a lot more. At least in my experiences that I've dealt with. But whether you're walking with a walker or crutches or a cane or whatever the case may be, or even in a wheelchair, you're still 100% human. With a 100% different but 100% true story about you. So, with that said, think about that. And this goes out to all those that are walking. If you're walking, think about that. Think about, I've got this, even though I'm walking, I've still got this disability, or I've got that disability, just because you have a disability does not make you any different. You're 100% human. They're 100% different, but 100% true story about you. There's people out there who they can't see, or maybe they have a missing limb, missing arm, missing leg, missing hand, missing foot. There's a story behind that. Why they don't have that arm or that hand or that foot or that leg, or maybe they cannot see. But you take that disability away from them, and what do you have? You have a 100% different but 100% true story about them. And I get it. Like I said, it's different the way we look at people look at other people. And again, I've saw it a bunch. Just from when if I'm in town or if I'm wherever I'm at, I've saw people get looked at, different. And sometimes that's because also, people are curious. And you know what? That being curious about something, that's more than okay as well. It makes you wonder about how somebody does this or does that, or and a quick story time for you as well. Like as I've told you before, like when I go get gas, or I get out of my truck and go get Subway or just go get something to drink at the gas station. I've had people look at me like, I don't mean to be a bother or offend you, but how the heck did you do that? And that's how you learn. Ask questions. Ask questions. That's how you learn. As someone that's never been on dates or relationships, I've gotten judged a lot over time, and it sucks. It literally freaking sucks. Because I'm just as 100% human as you are, as a person walking is. I just have a 100% different, but 100% true story about me. And that's exactly like you. Well, watching this YouTube, you have a 100% different, but 100% true story about you. And no, some people might not understand your story. And you know what? That's okay. Even if you don't understand something, there's always questions. There's always questions. Now, what questions is there? That I can't tell you. I mean, that is on you. Meaning, what questions you have, for someone. Um, if there was times where I thought, man, why is things really going the way they are? And I feel like a lot of times it's because a lot of people might not understand, what you go through. And that's understandable. Because like I said, we only know someone's name, not their story. We all have a 100% different, but 100% true story about us. But again, it's okay to ask questions. Because when you ask questions, you really get to know a person. And you get to see, behind their disability and say, wait a minute, that's what your disability is? You really don't have a disability, in my eyes. To me, you're 100% normal with a 100% different story about them. And that's exactly what you are. You're 100% different, but 100% true story about you. You're a person with a 100% true story about you. Different, 100% different. And that's okay. That's more than okay, to be honest with you. And that's what a lot of people don't really understand. So whenever if you're out going somewhere and you see somebody with maybe a wheelchair or a walker or even crutches or even a cane, or maybe you see somebody that's, that is an amputee, maybe they have a missing leg, a missing foot, a missing hand, arm, whatever the case may be, ask yourself, what's the story behind that? And, ask them. Ask them, be like, hey, if you don't mind, I got a question. Why is this? Why is that? What's the story behind this? What's the story behind that? And when you hear that person's story, you're going to think, wait a minute. That's all. That's what that is. This person is 100% normal. They just have a missing, an amputee of a leg or an arm or a hand or a foot or whatever the case may be. Because when you look at somebody, pay attention to the heart. Because when you pay attention to someone's heart, really shows you who they're going to be. It really shows you who that person is. So keep being you. And as I've said before, yes, I am trying to make this into a working paying job, because that's the way I was growing up. That's what I was born and raised is being able to help somebody. And that's what I love to do. I love to be able to help and help anybody out any way that I can. Like I said, there's some situations that I've been through, and there's going to be some situations that I haven't been through. Either way, whether I've been through it or I haven't been through it. I'm still going to be here. I'm still going to try to, I'm still going to give you my, my point of view on things and help you through that situation. Or when I say about, my point of view is how I would deal with things on that situation. If I was in that situation, here's how I would deal with it. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. You only know someone's name, not their story. And we all have a 100% different, 100% true story about us. Even when it's something you don't understand, just ask the person, ask them, the questions that you have. Like I said, ask them the question that you have, that you're trying to figure out something. I know I'm probably not saying that right, but if you don't understand something, ask questions. And you'll be surprised at, just by asking questions, you'll be surprised about how much you know about a person. And you'll really see, I feel like you really see that behind that person's disability is a 100% different, but 100% true human with a 100% true story about them. So keep being you and let nothing or no one hold you back. I say, I appreciate all 646 subscribers. I appreciate all the comments, the likes, the views. I appreciate the whole 9 yards. I appreciate everybody that's been here since day one. And a big thank you to everybody that's new here, that has just subscribed, or all the new viewers. I appreciate you all. And again, with the new viewers, or the newest subscribers, for those that don't know me, my name is Zach. I was born with what's called level 1 spina bifida, and being that I say level 1 is just because of my balance. Now, again, there's 4 different levels of spina bifida. Mine's only level 1, which is, like I said, just my balance, and that just means how your spine is curved. So if your spine is curved like this, as you see my finger, if your spine is curved like this, mine's like this. So with that said, my spine is curved the opposite of what yours is, only by a little bit. That's what I mean by that's what I mean with my level 1 spina bifida. Like I said, there's 4 different levels, but that's how mine works. I mean, that's how my level 1 works. And like I said, fortunately for me, it's just because of my balance. That's it. That's it. For those of you who that saw one of my last couple of YouTube videos back, I was in the hospital and I had pneumonia, and for somebody that has pneumonia that's walking, you're going to get your strength back probably a lot faster because you're up moving. Okay. Now, as for me, as someone that's sitting down, as you can see, for someone that's sitting down because of my balance, when I get, let's say I get pneumonia, which that's what I had a couple months ago for the very first time, and yes, that scared the hell out of me. It's taken me a lot longer to get my strength back than what it does most people. You know, because like I said, a lot of people are walking and, you know, running and all sorts of things real quick. You know, or they get their walking back a lot sooner. You know, they can do things a lot sooner. As for me, as someone sitting down, it takes a lot longer. But with that said, I'm still doing the damn thing. And that's exactly what I'm telling you. No matter what somebody tells you, or no matter what somebody says, look at you. I'm proud of you. And you're still doing the damn thing. Go get it. No matter how many times you get knocked down, get up and go get it. Now, like I say, it might take you a lot longer than somebody else, you know, to get back up, and that's okay. However long it takes you to get up, yeah, that's how long it's gonna take you. That's okay. You know, I'm still trying to go back to the gym and work out, and that's still taking me a long time to get back. You know, and a lot of it is my upper body. You know, because I use my upper body, you know, to lift myself up in my truck. So that's what's taking that a long time. And like I said, that was the first time I ever had pneumonia, so that that got me. That rocked my world. Because that's meaning that, you know, that rocked me, meaning that scared the hell out of me. Because, you know, again, a lot of times you'll see somebody with pneumonia and they are real bad. You know, I've saw people with pneumonia that are on ventilators, you know, all kinds of breathing machines. And some of those people, or some of those individuals, they don't make it. I made it through. So that's what I'm saying. Before judging something, which judging something should never happen. But always remember, think before you speak, you know, and ask yourself, okay, what's going on here? What's the situation here? You know, and if you're not sure about something, ask. There's nothing wrong with asking. Because even you, as a person that has a disability, let me tell you something. You're just as capable as anyone else to doing something. You know, you're as capable as anyone else as far as doing something, as far as driving somewhere, or, you know, working out, or, you know, just living everyday life. You're just as capable as everyone else. It might take you a lot longer to, you know, to get from point A to point B than it does a person walking, but that's okay. You can still do that. And I'm going to leave you with this one. And I must say this. Live your life to the fullest. Live it with a smile. You know, there's going to be, like I said, there's people out there that's going to, you know, that's judgmental. Sadly, they're judgmental. And believe it or not, they're going to, the things that people might be judging you on, they're going to see you do things. You know, maybe somebody's judging you on how fast you can run. You can't run that fast, you know. And then they're going to see you run a lot faster than what they thought, you know, than what they thought. And they're going to think, well, dang, that person can run a lot faster than what I thought. So with that said, just keep being you. And remember this, when you see somebody that has, you know, some kind of disability, whether it's on a walk, walking with a walker, or crutches, or even a cane, or even in a wheelchair, remember that person or persons, they're just like you, 100% human. They're 100% different story about them. So keep being you, and let nothing or no one hold you back. Again, yes, I would love to make this into a working, paying job. Because again, that's how I was raised. I love helping, you know, to be able to help people. That's how I was raised. I love helping people. And that's why I keep doing this. Like I said, you know, there for a while, I showed you my workouts. Yes, I had to change, with my content, but that's okay. That's understandable. That happens. You know, that's the way it had to be. But again, what kept me onto this is seeing how much I could help, you know, that I was helping somebody. And that is, to me, is huge. And that's why I keep doing this. Remember this as well. No matter how long something takes you, keep fucking pushing. Whatever you're after, keep pushing after that. Because if that's what you're after, then go for it. Chase what you're after. And in case someone tells you they're proud of you, I'm proud of you. And I mean that. 100% proud of you. Each and every one of you. So keep being you. Let nothing hold you back. Keep smiling. And again, also, if anybody does comment, when I respond to your comments and I see that you have a YouTube channel and that I see that I'm not already subscribed, I'm going to subscribe to you as well. So keep going, keep being you, keep smiling, and let's get it.